Welcome to Weiss on Film. On each episode of Weiss on Film, we're going to take an everyday approach to movie reviews. Why don't you go over and get yourself some refreshments? There you go. And then we're going to head over to the screening room. All right, you got everything? Are we ready? Let's get into the screening room and get ready to see what we have in store this time on Weiss on Film. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Weiss on Film. On this episode of Weiss on Film, everyone's favorite genre is back for another kick at the can. The dinosaurs are back in this summer blockbuster that promises to deliver old friends and some new thrills. We're talking about Jurassic World Dominion, this time on Weiss on Film. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Weiss on Film, the every person's movie review show, and we're so glad you decided to drop by and check out this episode. And just real quick before we get underway with this episode of Weiss on Film, if you want to send us an email about the show, or better yet, some movie suggestions, you can reach out to us at weissonfilm@purplepitstudios.com. That's weissonfilm@purplepitstudios.com. And just make sure you put in there, in the subject line, what it's about, etc. And we'll be happy to check out your email and even get back to you. And hey, while you're listening to the podcast, why not give us a review and share it with your friends and family? Okay, sound good? Great. So let's get underway. 4 years after the destruction of Isla Nublar, dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside humans all over the world. This fragile balance will reshape the future and determine once and for all whether human beings are to remain the apex predators on a planet they now share with history's most fearsome creatures. Of course, we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion. Now, this was released June 10th of this year, 2022, directed by Colin Trevorrow, Trevorrow, released by Universal Pictures. And this film has gotten a lot of buildup, a lot of hype, a lot of, when it was released, it had a lot going on for it as far as hype and hyperbole. We're going to talk about it right after we listen to the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion.
Blue had a baby. That's impossible.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
I promise you, I am gonna get her back.
Genetic power has now been unleashed.
We made a terrible mistake.
The doomsday clock might be about out of time.
If our world's gonna survive, what matters is what we do now.
I could use your expertise.
You coming or what?
A baby raptor? I made a promise we would bring her home.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. What?
Everybody hold on to somebody. That can't be right.
What is that?
Biggest carnivore the world has ever seen.
Run!
See? Not so bad.
And there you have it, the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion that was released June 10th of this year. Now, this film is a long movie, okay? Just going to go right over, some things right off the bat. Basically, this is the epic conclusion. It's billed as the epic conclusion to the Jurassic Park series. You had Jurassic Park 2, 3. This is billed as the epic conclusion to the series. The Jurassic areas. Two generations unite for the first time. Chris Pratt as Bryce Dallas Howard are joined by Oscar winner Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, and Sam Neill in Jurassic World Dominion. They bill it as a bold and timely and breathtaking new adventure that spans the globe from Jurassic World architect and director Colin Trevorrow. I hope, Colin, I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Dominion takes place 4 years after Isla Nublar has been destroyed. The dinosaurs now live and hunt alongside the human beings, like we talked about in the opener. And it's rated PG-13. So it's rated PG-13 for intense sequences of action and violence, and of course, a few people getting chomped on. It's an action sci-fi adventure mystery thriller. Now, the film itself, it's 2 hours and 27 minutes. 2 hours and 27, almost 2.5 hours. See it in a Dolby Atmos or Dolby Digital Theater, and it was released worldwide on June 10th of 2022. So far, $369 million. Now, I like the idea that they brought the originals back, but here's the problem I had with this movie. I love the dinosaur movies. Don't get me wrong. I love the dinosaur movies. That being said, however, this one here has got so much dichotomy going on. It's kind of, I don't know. Color me that it's weak on the story, okay? Yeah, there's a spoiler. I think the story itself is kind of lame, in my humble opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of action sequences, plenty of unbelievable action sequences, where I think the previous films had more believable. And when I say believable, I know we're dealing with dinosaurs, but what I'm saying is, it was more, you could put yourself in that situation and say, okay, I can see them doing this and doing that and doing this. And this film just kind of took everything and really went to an extreme. There's a scene in the movie, and again, sorry for the spoilers, if that's going to ruin your experience, yeah, I'm sorry about that, where Laura Dern is being chased by, I believe it's Laura Dern's character is being chased, or maybe it's the other young lady in the film here, her sidekick, is being chased through a rural town, and the velociraptors are after her. Now, these velociraptors they're fast. They're quick animals. They're like the speed of a cheetah, and this character somehow manages to outwit and outrun a velociraptor. Now, in the other previous three movies, velociraptors were portrayed to the audience as super intelligent, pack animals, the speed of a cheetah, and deadly. And yet somehow this 20-something, or she manages to outwit and outrun a velociraptor in tight quarters. I just didn't believe it. I was like, I'm willing to suspend disbelief. However, I'm not willing to go that far, okay? And there's a couple other sequences like that as well throughout the movie as well. And I like the idea of them all being back together, getting the band back together, old and new. Now, on Rotten Tomatoes, this film got a 77% audience score. The tomato meter gave it only 30%, but over 10,000 plus reviews gave it 77%. And I'm going to venture a guess and tell you why it probably got the 77%. Because it's a romp-em stomp-em, action, packed kind of movie that, you can take the kids, the youngins too. And, because who doesn't like dinosaurs? Come on. And you can take the kids to the film and, shut them up for a couple hours or so. And it's one of these ones you'd want to see in the movie because that's what it's made for. But the film, it does have some slow parts. But again, I just didn't find the premise of the movie, the initial premise of the movie where one of the scientists cloned her daughter that died from a disease, and getting back to the John Hammond thing of genetics and cloning genetics and things like that, and stem cell type of research, kind of cloning research. To me, it took what the original premise again of what Jurassic Park was, and just kind of took it so over the top to the fact that now we're like, no, I can't go along with you on this ride. I'm sorry. I just can't. Like I said, the movie itself, it's over 2 hours long. It has some cool chase sequences. We meet a couple new, quirky characters. But barring that, the whole initial story, I mean, they bring in Ian Malcolm, who's the chaos professor there. And he's working for the big bad corporation, but he's kind of an inside guy trying to help them out. The dinosaurs are now trying to be protected by animal rights groups, etc. And that whole dichotomy between modern day dinosaurs being in a modern world, I found it a very hard pill to swallow for this film. I watched it, and honestly, after about an hour and 45 minutes, I was like, come on, let's wrap this thing up. I mean, that's just me, the critic in me. I was just, let's wrap this thing up and, get to a conclusion because I got other things to do with my life. Whereas with the previous 3 Jurassic Park movies, I was really seriously more entertained. Also, the other Jurassic Park, the world ones there, everything up until this one, maybe my expectations were higher. Maybe I went into it saying, all right, it's going to be at least as good as the last 2 or 3 movies. And my expectations were high, and maybe I set them too high when I went and saw this film, because I must say it was kind of a letdown. It really was. But, you have to be the judge. Only you know what's good for you. But as far as my rating on this one, as far as it is a winner or a stinker, we're going to give it the drum roll. And Jurassic World Dominion, nah, it's a stinker, in my opinion. Don't spend your money on this one in the theater, folks. I mean, save yourself the $12 to $15 or $20, whatever you're going to spend. I mean, unless you like that movie experience of going into the theater and, the surround sound effects and the big IMAX theater, whatever. If you're willing to pay and go do that, well, then by all means, go see Jurassic World Dominion. But if you're looking for any type of a substance of a storyline, something that, is entertaining and you can follow along with, and you're like, okay, I can get into this and root for these characters, I think you're going to be disappointed with Jurassic World Dominion. I don't know. You're going to have to be the judge of that. Let me know in the comments, and we'll find out. Hey, thanks for stopping by the screening room today as we reviewed Jurassic World Dominion. And remember, leave us a podcast rating on your favorite podcast provider, please. Share the podcast with your friends and family. Tell people about Weiss on Film. And until next time, I got to go clean up the screening room. I'll save you some popcorn. We'll see you on the next episode of Weiss on Film.